Welcome to GTK GHS, a student-run podcast that gives students, teachers, and others a chance to have a sit-down discussion and talk about their lives and other things. So today I'm joined with Christopher Gaddis, Cooper Cochran, and Mel Mosley. Introduce yourself, Chris.
My name is Christopher Gaddis. I'm a student here at GHS. I'm a member of the golf team and an FFA member here. But yeah.
Cooper, what about you?
My name's Cooper Cochran, and I'm a member of the baseball team here. Also a student. And yeah.
Mel Mosley.
I'm Mel Mosley. I'm a student here at GHS. I'm also a member of the baseball team. And that's about it.
All right. Well, Chris, tell us about your family.
Well, I have 4 siblings. I have 3 sisters and a brother.
I pray for you.
And then my mom, Mackenzie, and my dad, Darren. But yeah, my brother is a 9th grader here at GHS. And then my girlfriend, Lila, she's a senior here. But yeah, that's my family.
All right. Cooper, what about you?
I have 2 siblings, Grant and Bryson. And Grant attends Bruton Parker.
You have to think about that.
I don't know. And yeah.
That's it. All right. What about you, Mel?
Got 3 siblings, 2 of which are sisters, and I've got an identical twin brother who's also in the same grade as me here at GHS. And both of my sisters are now out of college and pursuing their careers.
Sarah Mosley, star UGS softball player.
Yeah, trust me, I've heard all about it. I know a little bit about that.
Seen her play live.
Real deal.
Yeah, you also have your signature.
I do. Playing sports here?
I do. I'm a member of the golf team. Golf team, yeah. We went 8-1 last year. The men's did. But yeah, we're going through a transition year for a new head coach. But yeah, we're excited to get out of here.
Yeah. All right, Cooper and Mel, I know y'all both played baseball. Tell us a little bit about that.
We went 16-15 last year.
Yeah.
Made the first round of the playoffs. Lost game 1 against Ringgold, and then won the second game and lost game 3. Yeah, it was close, but looking to return most core guys from last year.
It was a big turnaround from
huge turnaround.
Huge turnaround. What was our record that year? Like
It's like
We don't got time for that.
yeah, it was
rough.
a lot
Rough
to a
year,
little.
Yeah, rough year.
Now we're getting funded. That's pretty nice.
What are the expectations for the season?
Probably
I'd say 500.
yeah, make it back to the playoffs. Keep a culture here, and yeah.
It's new region too. Brand new region.
Is it going to be tougher than last year's?
Yeah.
Should be probably similar. There's some good powerhouses like Heritage, but
Calhoun was good the past few years.
good school.
What about you, Chris? What's expectations for the golf season?
Well, we were pretty successful last year. So the expectation is to go back and go out there and be successful again. We got a couple new freshmen coming up, a lot of freshmen actually, but a couple studs coming up. But yeah.
Sounds good. What got y'all into these sports, respectively? Let's start out with you, Chris.
Well, to be honest with you, I was watching the Masters one year, and a guy named Tommy Fleetwood hit a hole-in-one. I was like, I want to try that. I was like, I'm gonna go out and play golf. And we went out and played golf, and you hit one pure shot, and it's like, man, I want to do it again. So, and then from there, I just started getting a good work ethic, and getting after it, and here we are.
I've heard that story. You've always said it was just because you watched the Masters one year.
Yeah.
All right, Cooper and Mel, what about y'all?
Well, my 2 brothers played pretty much their whole lives, and so I kind of just fell in the footsteps there. Yeah. My dad played, and Grandpa plays, so it's kind of just I've been playing since I was 3, and yeah, long time.
What about you, Mel?
Well, as I said earlier, my sister plays the University of Georgia, where she played, and me and my brother were always dragged to her game since we were born. So once we hit the age of rec league started taking, kids, then me and my brother got entered, and we've been playing ever since, really. I've got multiple pictures of just me as a baby, just at the ballpark.
All right. And what about y'all as a powerhouse trio? How'd this formulate?
Well, me and Cooper, we were friends throughout middle school and elementary school, but we became best friends in Coach Ezel's class in 8th grade math. Yeah, first period. But yeah, that's how me and Cooper became friends. And me and Mel, we were friends too. And then Cooper and Mel were best friends from a long time ago.
I don't know about y'all. I just feel like it just kind of spawned, like happened.
Yeah, it never really was like a set point.
Yeah,
It was kind of just.
Yeah, it was kind of there.
All right. Who's one thing you changed about this high school? What would it be? I'm gonna start out with you, man.
Me?
Yeah.
Can I phone a friend?
Yeah. Phone a friend.
I don't. You're gonna have to come back to me. Let me think about it.
Well, if I don't know. I mean, I think we have a pretty good high school, good system here. But if I had to say one thing, probably the lunches. Now, I'm not saying the food's bad.
They do a great job.
But mainly the portion size.
Yeah, I'm still hungry afterwards.
Yeah, I'm still hungry too. Which I mean, that's no big deal. I know we're lucky to even get food. Don't get me wrong, but you know that would be my only complaint. You know what I mean? That's just me being picky. But yeah.
I will say we do have a lot better lunches than some of the high schools.
That is true. We do have good, and I love our lunch ladies. They do a great job. Yeah.
His lunch was pretty good. Chicken nuggets, green beans, and
mashed potatoes.
and the biscuit. I thought it was pretty nice.
Good biscuit.
Yeah.
How about you, Cooper?
Well, in 5th grade, we had the schedule of, we had like 6 classes. It was like 45 minutes each. I was a big fan of that because you didn't just sit in one class for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you got to move around a little bit. It wasn't so, stagnant, and so I like that a little better. Exactly, you get to finish some more classes.
I did like my first 2 years here as like a schedule where we had 10 minutes between classes, but like a lot of people abuse that. It was like, there's been times this year where I have had to go do something between classes, and I've only got 5 minutes, so I just had to wait till like after school or something.
Same goes. One bad apple spoils the bunch.
You'd be right. Yeah. You'd be right.
Well, Mel, you got anything you changed?
That's what I just said.
I didn't pick up that part. We'll cut that out. All right.
Cut. My bad.
Well, what about teachers?
See, now that's my probably favorite thing about GHS is the teachers here. I think we have a great group of teachers. I love our teachers. Just to say a few, I may miss some, but to say a few. I love all of our ag teachers. Mr. Morrow is my first period, math teacher. I love him. He's great. And just there's a lot of good teachers. I like Coach Space, our golf coach. He's a good teacher. But yeah, there's not many bad teachers here. A lot of teachers, I think we have a good group of teachers. I think we got lucky.
What about you, Cooper?
Top 3. Definitely Miss Marietta's up there. She was my Algebra 1 teacher freshman year. She was very personable. You could go to her if you needed help. She wasn't like intimidating. I like our teachers here, and I think they're good. But probably I don't know. Miss Marietta's probably my favorite though in high school.
She's a good one.
I miss Rodney Thurman.
Yeah.
I love that man.
Love Rodney.
I love that man.
I love Rodney.
He'd get up in the middle of class, just start screaming, and it would relate to the project somehow, but you may not know how at the beginning. But also, shout out to Mr. Marietta. He tells jokes in the middle class all the time, and he makes you like want to go to his class. Like at the beginning of the year, I thought he was gonna be like a clean freak, because he like started yelling at us. But I've come around. Shout out PG. I love PG. Love that man.
PG standard.
He's more of a friend than a teacher. He'll like
Great offensive coordinator, by the way.
48-7 last week.
Love the wing team.
48-6.
My bad.
48-6. Now, speaking of Gilmer Bobcat football, I mean, what do you think about this upcoming matchup between powerhouse?
Lord Morgan, you put me on the spot here, Morgan. I love our Bobcats. I love the boys. I love the coach. But Calhoun's a good team. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not gonna lollygag. Calhoun's a good team. It's gonna be rough. They can do it. I know they can, but it's gonna take a lot of pieces are gonna have to come together and really, unravel
Get that offense going.
to get that offense going early.
Can't have no
and
more dropped interceptions.
yeah, no.
No, you can't take away.
You gotta come up. When opportunities like that come, you gotta take advantage of them, and that's just how it is.
I really liked Hunter Britton in the last game. He may have had 2 dropped interceptions, but he also had 2 picks.
Well, one wasn't really his fault. He got hit by another player. But
Bubba Callahan killed a kid. Oh my gosh.
He did. That was a rough hit.
What about Isaac Rowan playing his heart out there?
That's what you love to see. That's just what Bobcat football is all about. Is that right there? That's just what you need. You need guys like that on a team, on any team, and that's what teams like Lafayette lack. I'm sure they do. I'm not speaking for Lafayette, but I'm just saying.
For itself.
Yeah,
Oh,
but but you
Not
gotta
to disrespect them.
Yeah,
but,
not to try.
Great
You gotta
program,
have leaders
great
out
program.
there. That's why we're
Not the-
successful.
Not the greatest of athletes over
That's
there.
why we're successful.
Yeah.
Gotta have leaders.
Talk about Wyatt Stokes getting the ball every.
Especially with Grant and Kyle are
Yeah.
getting the workload, and that's just again Bobcat football.
I mean, he's really taking it and running with it.
We also got to give a shout out to center, Austin Green.
Austin.
I love that boy.
He's been a workhorse.
What a guy. And I tell you, he goes out there on the football field, he gets his job done. He goes in the classroom, he gets his job done too.
Smart kid.
Yeah.
Very smart. He's a good kid. He's polite.
Good as they come. He's good.
Hunter,
Type of guy you want to date your daughter.
Hunter Britton's a dog. You see him running routes out there. He's just picking off left and right. I mean, just darting.
Shut down.
Shut down.
I want to shout out Salvador Ruiz. Good chemistry guy. I mean, I don't think I've met anybody that doesn't like him.
No, I don't think
He is a good chemistry guy too.
He's got 100 in there.
Chemistry class. I've never seen a boy more locked in. Oh my lord. He knows what he's talking about.
Him and Harper Davenport.
Yeah.
Did that lad today believe he was the first one finished?
The whole group over there.
Love it. Love it. Love to see it. But yeah.
I guess we'll branch to the most interesting section. Sports pick'em.
Sports pick.
All right. So this section we're gonna do a pick'em for the upcoming college football games this weekend. And I guess whenever the next episode's filmed, we're gonna put their records up, and then whenever we see them again, do another one. All right. So Chris, you want to start us off? LSU, Arkansas.
LSU, Arkansas. Well, LSU's coming off a strong win against a good Ole Miss team. Ole Miss trying to find their footing here in the first half of the season, but LSU will come off with a really good win in overtime. But LSU goes into Arkansas, and really Arkansas, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bottom of the barrel SEC team, but they're not. No SEC team is.
We got
Hey,
the competition they play.
That's
Vandy.
true. That's,
We thought Vandy was bottom of the barrel. They
that's
beat
true.
Bama.
You gotta think. Yeah, I mean, no, you go into any SEC stadium, it's gonna be a tough game. I think LSU wins. Give me LSU, but I think it's closer than you think it is. LSU's hot, but I think it's closer than you think it is. Maybe 3-score, 2-score, maybe.
What about you, Cooper?
I took LSU as well. Garrett Nussmeier, their quarterback, he's solid.
Stud.
I mean, was it his freshman season when he played Georgia in the SEC championship?
Yeah.
He threw for like
400 yards.
400 yards.
Yeah.
Something. It was good. I mean, Arkansas, they haven't been as they were back in the 90s, But I mean, like Chris said, no SEC school is truly bad. I mean, they can upset anybody on any given day. And so I take LSU. I think it'll be a little closer than we think, but I think LSU takes it.
I guess I'll be the one to say this is my upset game, right? I take Arkansas. Now hear me out. Arkansas just came off a bye week off of beating Tennessee. Tennessee is a top 10 SEC team before that game. LSU played in Death Valley and took it. Was it overtime? It was overtime against Ole Miss. I think Arkansas carries this into this week and gives LSU a run for their money. Give me LSU.
I You taking LSU?
LSU.
Oh, not LSU. My bad. Arkansas.
No, I completely agree with you. I'm taking Arkansas too. I think they got a real solid team up there. Got a real stout defense.
Interesting.
And I mean, LSU, they've been struggling to put some points on the board here.
They
lately.
were playing in Death Valley with those wristbands, and they took. I mean,
Ole Miss is a solid team too. Home field advantage is a real thing.
Yes. Especially in Death
They-
Valley at night.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to play.
LSU's on the road.
Now we got an interesting one here. Miami and Louisville. All right, Chris, start us off.
Well, this is my upset pick
No,
of the week here.
no,
I'm going
no.
Louisville. Miami is bound to lose here soon. They're coming off from bye week, right? I think they're coming off. No, Miami.
Oh, Miami?
Yeah.
I think so.
That or the last two games they played, they played Cal really close, 39-38, and then a controversial end of the Virginia Tech game.
Yes.
And if I remember right, the California game was a little controversial too. But they're coming off two rocky wins, to say the least, and I think Louisville is a good enough team to put away the Miami upset that's been brewing there in Miami. But yeah, so that's what I think. It's at Louisville too. Another thing, not as hostile as an environment as say an SEC school.
Yeah.
I think Louisville is the team. And now, if it does, I will say this: if Miami does pull away this week, in the next 2 to 3 weeks, Miami will lose. You heard it here first.
All right. No, I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, but here's the thing. All Cinderella stories must come to an end. But this ain't the time. This ain't come later down the road.
Now, don't get me wrong. Cam
Give me
Ward's
Miami.
That ain't this week.
Give
That
me
ain't this week.
Miami by a comfortable score.
a comfortable score.
All right, Cooper, what about you?
I think Louisville's a good program, good football team this year. But I think Miami has the star power to take down Louisville. Cam Ward, he's been playing out of his mind.
Top 5 Heisman favorite.
Yeah.
Top 5 pick.
Arguably top 3. But I think if he limits his turnovers, stops throwing as many picks. He doesn't have too much, but
Yeah.
I think I think if he limits that, then they'll roll right past Louisville. So I'll take Miami.
He's a lot like Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
Gunslinger.
Yeah.
But a gunslinger with legs.
With
With
legs.
legs.
So.
Deal the right gunslinger.
All right, what about you, Mel?
I'm taking Miami. I like Cam Ward. I don't care if it's away. They're the 8th team in the nation for a reason. They, like Chris said, they'll probably lose later down the line, but that ain't this week.
Now, this is a big one. Purdue and Oregon. Now we want
big
to
one.
We
The
wanna
big
go,
one.
let's talk about that. They're playing at Purdue, and Purdue is 3-0 against AP top 5 teams while playing at home.
Oregon's gonna have more fans there than Purdue.
That don't matter. That don't.
I still don't beat the fact that they were 3-0 against top 5 teams at home.
3-0 against.
What were the teams? Ohio State.
They just beat Ohio State.
It was like Ohio State like
It was
3
like-
times.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, but Oregon
It
just
was
beat
Ohio
them.
State, maybe like Penn State or something. I don't know off the top of my head. But they weren't like fluke wins. They dominated that.
I mean,
game.
that one
The
Ohio State game,
game,
they won by like almost 30
dominated.
points.
Yeah, they dominated.
I didn't know.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. However, Dylan Gabriel's a stud. Oregon's coming off a strong win against Ohio State. Dan Lanning, I think, is going to walk in Purdue, and I think he's going to get the job done, no problem. At the least, it's a 3-score game. I think they put a stop to this upset streak that Purdue's got going on. But yeah, maybe it's a close first half. I do think it will be a close first half, but I think in the second half, the Ducks pull away.
All right, what about you, Cooper?
The whole top or 3-0 versus the top 5 teams. Cool story, but Oregon's the real deal.
Yeah.
They have studs over there. They just go out and get the fastest guys possible.
Yeah.
And the most physical guys, and I think
And boy,
that
they look good.
they do look good.
Now, hold on. The real question is Oregon the real deal, or is Ryan Day just that bad of a coach? Because think about it, Ryan Day has had 3 opportunities to go down the field and win a ball game, and he started 3 times. We've seen this in Georgia 2 years ago.
We did.
I'm not sure that's so much as Ryan Day's fault as their kicker. Their kicker shanked
For the
that
Georgia game,
For
yeah.
the Georgia game.
No, those-
Yeah, but you also
For the
got to think the
Oregon.
plays leading up to that kick.
And it's also at midnight for the national championship.
That's true.
I mean,
Then for the Oregon game last week, the Will Howard last play of the game, that was
That was
a tough look for the Ohio State Buckeyes. When really a lot of people coming into the season were like, "This is the team." Man. They abused that.
What was it, $20 million roster?
Quinshon Judkins.
Will Howard.
Well, yeah. And Ryan Day, I think I don't think it's crazy to say that Ryan Day's on the hot seat.
No, I
I
agree.
think that's
1-7 against. I think it was AP top 5.
That's bad. That's
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I think the one win's probably playing Penn State.
I'm gonna-
No, Michigan. Excuse me.
I'm gonna take this one from Nick Saban. He said that they've got like a $20 million roster, but if you don't pay the right people, you're just gonna be out of luck.
You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the coaches to teach the talent, it's wasted. It's wasted.
You're right. You'd be right.
I mean, we can go and look at this. I mean, Dan Jackson at Georgia, 0-star walk-on, no offers. Got accepted in Georgia based on academics. Came here, grinded his way up, and now look at him, star player on the defense.
A lot of walk-ons with good stories.
That's like
Baker Mayfield.
not to.
Baker, yeah.
A lot of Baker Mayfield. Don't even get me
Great
started on Baker Mayfield.
Seems like Georgia's getting a lot of these.
Who'd you pick, Oregon?
Oregon.
I'm getting Oregon. Yeah, I mean, they're the second team in the nation for a reason.
Purdue.
I don't, Morgan, I can't get behind that. I mean,
Give me Purdue for the upset.
What's
No,
your-
actually,
Hold on.
I said Purdue in a shootout.
no. What
Shootout.
is the record against top 25 the only reason you're picking Purdue?
Top
Top
5.
five.
Top 5.
Top 25. Top 5. When they play the best in the nation, they show out.
So that's your reason.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we're getting to a good one. Nebraska and Indiana.
I love Dylan Raiola. He did flip against Georgia, but I love the kid. He's a good quarterback. However, Indiana's probably the hottest team in college football. I think Indiana wins big. Dylan Raiola don't know how to beat. Who they lost it? What is it? Illinois? They're on the loss.
Yeah.
I think.
I think so.
And Illinois is a solid team. I think Dylan Raiola still has something to learn. The Nebraska team, Matt Rule's doing a great job to that Nebraska team, but I think they've still got a lot to learn. I think Indiana wins relatively big. Maybe it's close after a while, but I think the scoreboard isn't going to show exactly how this game is. I think some of the box score casuals, as you like to say, Morgan, is gonna look to this game as like, is Indiana really that good? I think Indiana's legit the hottest team in college football.
I'm going to stop you right there. Give me Nebraska.
Oh my gosh.
Nebraska 28-20.
You got to back this up.
You know, I mean, Nebraska, they've proven, they don't score field goals over there. When they score, it's very little, but it's touchdowns. I think, they got to come in here and they got to make a statement game saying, hey, we're back. We're here, and we're here to stay. So give me Nebraska 28-21.
I'm going to hold you to that.
All right, Cooper.
I think Nebraska is doing a good job. Give them a couple of years and they'll be up there with some of the best teams in the nation.
Yeah.
Especially if Dylan Raiola stays. He has had some issues with like commitment.
Yeah.
In high school, he's flipped.
Was it 4 different high schools?
It was a bunch of.
4 years?
Move to Georgia.
Ended up at Buford,
Yeah.
committing to the Dogs, and then
That was a lot of Bear Alexander.
Yeah. Speaking of Barrett Alexander's redshirting the rest of his year.
entering the transfer
portal.
portal. I heard about that.
All right.
But I think that if Raiola stays, they can build something around him.
Yeah.
He's a star player. He just carries the offense with him. But I think Indiana is, like Chris said, the hottest team in college football right now. They're just rolling. Everything's clicking.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Nebraska is going to be able to take down what they have going there. So I'll take Indiana.
Raiola, a little Mahomie if you want to.
No. Talking about Raiola, he did commit to Georgia. Nebraska basically sent the house. Now they've got his little brother.
A little bit more than the house.
Now they've got his little. Now they've got his little brother committed there as well, and Nebraska's got some potential out of the true freshman. I like the way he looks, but you just can't stop Indiana. You've got like 3 upset
I was about
picks
to
right
say.
now.
I think that was last week.
I was about to say that was like
Weekend before that.
2 weekends in a
2,
row.
yeah.
It's been upset. All right, now we get to the SC matchup. The prime time SC matchup. Tennessee and Alabama.
Let me just
Start
tell
us
you.
off.
Let me just tell you something right here.
Started.
Tennessee and Alabama is the two most overrated teams in the country. I cannot stand these teams. I can't. I hope both of these teams lose. But however, gotta pick somebody. Nico's not experienced enough Nico doesn't know big games. Obviously, Florida was like trying to lose the game last week. Tennessee should have 2 losses right now. I think Alabama walks in. Is it Alabama or is it
That's
Tennessee?
Neyland, right?
Is that Neyland?
Yeah, it's not Neyland.
Yeah, it's in there. Okay, yeah. I think Kalen DeBoer and the boys walk into Neyland. I think they get the job done. I think the goalposts are staying dry tonight. I think
No more number 3.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Cooper?
I'm taking Alabama in this one. I don't like the team. I don't like either team, but it's gonna be a tough matchup if they're playing in Neyland. That place is just
Deadly atmosphere.
Yeah, I've been there personally. It is loud.
Yeah.
Even when I went the year before Tennessee got really good, and it was loud. It's the loudest thing I've ever heard.
But I don't think, as Chris was saying, like Nico, I mean, he has some, flashy moments,
It's flashy.
but he's very, very hit and miss. I don't think he's very consistent in his gameplay. So I don't think that he has what it takes to take down an Alabama team like this.
Yeah.
So, pains me to say it, but I'll take Alabama.
What about you, Mel?
Nothing makes me more mad than whenever somebody's, like, as a Georgia fan, whenever somebody's born and raised in Georgia and they're an Alabama fan. I just can't take Alabama in this one. I like
Yes.
I like them playing in Neyland. That helps Tennessee a lot. And playing in Neyland Stadium, that's a hard place to go in.
Yeah.
That's a hard place to come out with an away victory, and especially with Alabama taking South Carolina to the wire last weekend,
Yeah.
and then losing to Vandy the weekend before that. I think Alabama's a little bit. Alabama, the only game that they had to prepare for this season was Georgia, and just after that, they thought it was going to be a clean sweep. So I think
That Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Talking about some god-awful football.
That was bad. It was bad.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Now, I hate to drag this out, but if Tennessee was going to Tuscaloosa, this game's a blowout.
100%.
This game is a blowout. This game's not even close.
No,
Yeah, I think
Alabama,
them being
closer
at
than what we
Tennessee is the only reason why I'm picking
Yeah.
them. And I'm picking them 24-21. Pretty
Mm.
It'll be
reminiscent of
close.
A couple years ago, remember that game-winning field goal?
Yeah.
I'm picking the exact.
the other side.
I'm
Or
taking
what- Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm taking they go into overtime.
Yeah.
Take it to overtime.
I'm saying they take it to overtime.
I think Bama stomps the Vols. I don't think that Bama's offense will have much trouble against Tennessee's defense. I don't think they're good.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, they both don't really have great defenses. They're both pretty bad.
No, I mean Georgia in the second half, Georgia dominated. If you go back and watch, Georgia exposed how to beat Alabama. Because next week Vanderbilt goes and whoops up on them, and then South Carolina takes it to the wire.
Mhm.
And really should have won if it wasn't for that interception at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So we went and exposed them, put 28 up on the second half. But
I mean, I think
You know,
we
Chris,
started off the first half really slow, so I think if we would have
yeah,
played somewhat decent in the first half, we probably could have.
we probably could have pulled it out.
Chris, you're talking about Georgia put out the blueprint to beat Bama. But you gotta realize, Bama put out the blueprint to beat Georgia. We go look at these past couple of weeks. I mean, we've had 2 opportunities to make a statement game. I mean, we go look at Auburn. What was that?
31.
A lot closer than it should have been.
31-13, and then we go play Mississippi State at
Win
home,
by 10.
and
It's
that
like
game almost turns into a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Worst team in
I
that
tell
state,
you,
by the way.
N'Kobe Dean. If you go back and watch, he was leading on that defense. If N'Kobe Dean knew, if N'Kobe's Dean defense let Mississippi State score 31 points on them, then I tell you, it's gonna be a rough week of practice. That's
Bloody
all- that's
Bloody
all.
Tuesday is gonna be.
Bloody Tuesdays ain't working.
I mean,
Which leads me into the next game. Georgia, Texas. Talk about the number 5 team playing
no.
number 1 team.
I'd like to take it to Alabama for a minute, if you don't mind. But
Let's circle back.
I think I read somewhere before this that Jalen Milroe averages seven yards per carry. If you stop Milroe from running and put pressure on him and his receivers, I think that'll be a good way for Tennessee to come out on top.
Alabama's got a brilliant offensive scheme going. I mean, you gonna shut down Milrow with like 5 players, but then you also got to keep Ryan Williams shut down.
Whoa, speaking of Ryan Williams, how old is he?
I think he's
Oh, yeah.
17.
17 years old playing college football for the University of Alabama.
How old are you gonna be?
Yeah, when are you turning?
I'll be 17 years old now.
That's like you at Bama right now, catching footballs from Jalen Milrow.
Yeah, something's wrong with me.
You could be playing golf.
We have a big matchup coming up though. Number 1 Texas playing number 5 Georgia. You talk about a ball game of the year potential, and we've already had 2 game of the years.
Yeah, well, I tell you, Morgan, my heart says UGA.
Don't kill me.
Says Georgia.
Don't kill me.
But my head says Texas. My head says Texas. Everything about the
You are a Georgia fan.
But Chris, the real question is, what does your gut say?
My gut, I tell you.
Because I can tell you what my gut says: 37-34 Georgia.
I tell you,
Dogs.
my gut says.
And a 4th quarter comeback.
I tell you, my gut says them boys in red and black gonna be marching down the train tracks all the way to Austin, Texas, going in Austin and whooping
Atta
the
baby.
Longhorns, baby.
Atta baby.
Horns down, horns down. Now don't get me wrong, it's gonna be a tough game. I'll tell you right now, the 3 keys for Georgia to win this game: no turnovers, no interceptions. I don't want to see any of those crappy underthrown interceptions by Carson Beck, especially interceptions. Fumbles, you can interceptions, 2 momentum changes. You got to run the ball well, and when I say run the ball well, I mean diversify the run. Okay, I want to see.
Trevor
You
no.
can't have ETN run
Frazier
these 2-yard inside zones. I want to see Frazier in there. Our best performance this year has been that game against Clemson. Who started that game, Morgan? Frazier. And you got to be aggressive. Mike Bobo has notorious for first half unaggressiveness. You got to take shots down the field. And when I say take shots down the field, you got to be successful. You can't just, and you know who the key to that is? Arian Smith. I want to see Arian Smith on a good amount of go routes.
I'd like to see him catch a
ball,
football.
catch
Yeah,
some.
football. I mean, Alabama game ball went right through his
I mean,
hands.
he has something over 250 yards and drop passes right now. That's with no yak.
That's crazy.
No yak.
A minor key for Georgia has got to be well on 3rd down too. I don't see no stalled out drives.
You know, Chris, I was talking to my family during the Clemson game. I was like, you know, these slow starts are gonna kill us, but you know, when we play these bums like Clemson and stuff, I mean, it's all right. But I said, you know, when we play a team like Alabama and Texas, these slow starts,
You gotta be go.
we're gonna dig
all
ourselves in a hole that we're not gonna be able to get out of. But you know what? Look at Alabama, 37 at the half. We almost came back. We only let up like, what is that, 11 points at half? At halftime. I mean, that's just phenomenal performance by defense. But it was too late. I mean, 30-7, that's outrageous. And you know, for Texas, we gotta get a fast start going.
Yeah, and that's just all there is
That's
to
the
it.
key to the game. Fast start. If Georgia can do something in the first half, we win this game easily.
Yeah, easy. Yeah.
What was Texas's last score?
34-3 at Oklahoma.
Alright.
Now, Oklahoma was down their first 5 starting wide receivers.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's
That's
about
rough.
putting practice squad out there. What about you?
You know, I think it'll be a tough game.
Yeah.
And I'm a diehard Georgia fan, you know. But I mean, it'll be down to the wire if we come to play. I think that we obviously have what it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, we have talent, and we have the coaching. So I think it'll be very close.
Very.
But I mean, I'm gonna take Georgia. I have faith in them. And Quinn Ewers is coming off an injury too.
Yeah, they didn't do great last.
He didn't do too great. So I think if we get some pressure on him, we could force him to make some bad plays. And with that, you'd have to take advantage of your opportunities though, and
Yeah.
you have to get on and score and hold them.
Yeah.
Which is going to be tough to do. So
I mean, that Texas defense, 6.7 points per game allowed and 200 yards per game allowed. That's outrageous.
Got
That's
that.
something you saw in that 2021 Georgia defense.
yeah.
I've got that on my notes here. I'll get into that later. We need to get into this boy right here.
Dalen Everett. Oh my gosh.
Might be the worst football player I've ever seen.
I mean, what he's
For
running
folks
around
who don't
blind out
know,
there. I mean,
Defensive back for Georgia, number 6.
he's a junior, so we still have one more year of him if he decides to stay. Hoping he doesn't.
I mean,
Personally, I mean,
Spoiler alert. He's gonna decide to stay. He is not getting drafted if he
he's not. I don't think anybody will take him in the portal. He's not getting drafted. So
I mean, when he's on the field, he automatically puts us at 9 players because at least 2 players have to cover for him.
Yeah, and I think an easy solution to that. I mean, we haven't seen much of him, but Ellis Robinson,
You know,
huge pickup.
I saw these people saying, if we're gonna lose and be a terrible team, at least lose and be a terrible team with the new guys in.
Yeah, I mean, if we're losing and there's one key detail that has been, selling,
Yeah.
I think that's time to switch it up. And I mean,
He has, and that's one of if Georgia's going to beat Texas, they've got to they don't have much of Texas doesn't have much of a run game.
No.
So the corners, Dylan Everett, KJ Bolden, Malachi Starks, all those guys gonna have to step up a little bit. We're gonna have to see that game.
I mean, Malachi, he hasn't been doing. I mean, we haven't seen much of him this year because they aren't throwing his way. I mean,
And that's the thing. Like if you're a cornerback with if you look, Everett's got quite a bit of tackles.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact, and that's because
I think
that
he
was
was 18.
20th season right
He has 18 right now.
yeah, he's got and that's because
They're
he's
just,
getting the ball.
exactly.
Yeah.
They're just
And,
peppering him because every time they do it, it's an
He
automatic
had 8
first down.
tackles against Alabama.
We can talk all this stuff about how many tackles he's got, but I mean, look how many yards he's letting out.
That's
That
the
is
big thing.
outrageous.
It's bad. It's bad.
On the flip side, I like Dylan Bell. I like how he looks. I love that boy.
Dylan Bell's solid. I
Yeah,
mean,
they got to feed.
Great
they gotta feed
wide
Dylan
receiver
the ball.
too. Great wide receiver.
oh yeah. Reminds me a little bit of Vlad McConkey. I mean,
Yeah.
Talking about
a little undersized, but he's physical. He
He's
can
very.
run you out of your shoes.
talking about that touchdown, shaking off 2 defenders against Alabama. I think he can get it done against Texas.
You gotta them, and that's the thing. They gotta feed him the ball. Maybe incorporate some Anthony Evans, not Colby Young. Excuse me. Dominic
not with
Lovett.
the team right now.
Dominic Lovett.
He's suspended.
But yeah, I want to see more Dylan Bell.
Speaking of, I'd like to see a little bit more out of Michael Williams on the defensive
Yeah.
side of the ball. He's been a little non-existent. He was hurt first 2 games or first game.
Yeah, he played and he got hurt in the Clemson game.
Yeah, and he hasn't really been, what he's advertised as.
This brings up a really brilliant topic. Georgia has currently been living and dying by their blitz and their pressure rate. Like
They're
when you
known
notice
for that. Yeah.
Like when we can't execute on a sack or get pressure, I mean, it's just disastrous for the defense. So I think us getting to Quinn Ewers, and they have a really good offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jalen Walker's just got to get through. I mean, Ingram Dawkins, he's got to get through.
They got to feed off of each other. That's another key to Georgia winning is they got to feed off each other in game Dawkins.
I mean, we can't have Dan Jackson doing
Yeah.
everything.
Well, I think Jalen Walker this year, he's been very solid. I mean, he's picked up where we've lacked, definitely.
It's the whole reason why we're winning games.
Yeah, and so I think that he should generate some pressure on Quinn Ewers, and
Now, Georgia is at a big advantage here because Quinn Ewers, like you said, he's only played 2 games this season, 2.5 games this season. I mean,
They played their best games with Arch Manning.
I know. And you see this, if I'm Texas head coach and you're about to face a number 5 team.
Yeah.
Quite
So-
frankly, a very mad number 5 team. And, it's
They
like,
don't really have. I mean, yeah, sure they've got some stuff to lose. I think if they lose this game, I think their playoff implications are still there.
but
Georgia's
Georgia,
yeah.
it's completely out.
It's completely, and really, I mean, we won the 1 year we won that 2021 team. We won without winning the SEC championship. The SEC championship isn't a must, but I mean, they don't.
It does help.
Yeah.
It does help.
It definitely helps.
Yeah. And
That's an extra game you don't have to play.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, you coming up. Something tells me, my head doesn't, but my heart and inside of me tells me that Georgia's going to go in there focused. They're
I think they have to
I
be.
mean, you got to think about Smart. He always plays the competition level.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he
does.
played a team like Kentucky in 13-12. And I mean, you go look at Clemson, 34-3, and Clemson proved himself to be a really good team.
Clemson's not like they're legit. Clemson is.
They're top
They're top 10. I think they're 10.
Yeah,
I think-
They went from being unranked all the way back up.
Yeah.
They crawled.
They're not a bad team. Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like we don't have a good win. That's a really good win. Speaking of good wins and stuff like that, Texas is. You say how many points they laid? Points They won 6 points a game. Yeah, that's very impressive. But who have they played, guys? I mean,
they played a
Make a fair point.
hospital Oklahoma team.
Hospital.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, too. That's a
They
really
got
good way to
Oklahoma
put it.
General Hospital they played. But I mean, and then
the
Michigan,
team.
yeah.
second
That
in the
Michigan team is.
They shouldn't be
I
right
mean,
now.
The only reason they're
Michigan's
ranked
on the
is because
opposite
they
of
won the
Clemson.
yeah,
They
they're the
can't be
opposite.
top 10 to they're
I mean,
one more game
we
away
always
from
talk about
final.
how bad Florida State is, but I mean, look at Michigan's drop off. You know, there's a brilliant comparison. 2020, we lost 15 players to the draft. We came back and won the Natty.
Yeah.
Back to back.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this Michigan team. I mean, most forgettable national championship.
Mickey Mouse house.
JJ.
I forgot that
McCarthy.
happened, if I'm honest.
JJ McCarthy.
I'm not a big JJ McCarthy guy. I never
We
watched
know
the
from your
game.
stories.
Thought he was a handoff merchant. I mean,
He is.
nothing he's done has ever surprised me.
Yeah, I mean,
Talking about Kirby Smart, this leads me in my pick for the game, you know. If y'all have never been to the University of Georgia, you know, there's always Sanford Stadium, like right there. And Kirby Smart's practice field, it's all blacked out around it. And Kirby's got this watchtower. And this watchtower, he's got like speakers and he's got a microphone. And there's like, this is the funny part of the story, there's like elementary schools around this practice field. And Sarah tells me, she goes, Kirby is just, F this, F that. You better. I think Bloody Tuesdays get these boys locked in for Texas.
that is today.
Today.
Oh yeah, I think Kirby's practicing today and he's getting them locked in. But that being said, Tate Rutledge being out, that does put a little bit more pressure on Carson Beck.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Beck, if he stays in the pocket for too long, we can see that he gets sacked against Mississippi State. He had a sack, right? Thanks. Carson Beck
I'm sure he
against.
got sacked.
I mean,
It may have been the last game.
Probably.
Either way.
Georgia's down 3 starting offensive linemen right now. I mean, we're down center. We're down
Yeah,
right.
yeah, you got to have phase have to develop quick. Maybe a couple option plays or
that
something.
also
But
hurts
you
the
know,
run game
it
too.
does hurt
Not
the
getting
run
as
Here's
much.
the thing, though. I never doubted halftime Kirby Smart. I mean, you go back to the Rose Bowl, Ohio State.
Rose Bowl,
I mean, when we're down,
generational
I
game.
mean, when we're down, I mean, he's almost always made a comeback.
Never bet against second half Kirby Smart. We came back against Bama. It'll happen again.
It'll happen again. Here's the thing. I think if Georgia goes into this game losing at half, I think we pull away with the win. If we're up at the half, I think we blow it.
Something could have. If Carson Beck could avoid interceptions, that's big momentum
Maybe get the broadside barn.
in Texas. In Texas, interceptions cannot happen. That's just a momentum shift.
I mean, you really just got to protect the football all
We're
around.
playing at Texas too. 7:30 night game. That place is gonna be packed and it's gonna be loud.
Talking about Quinn Ewers, I think both QBs are going to have a big game. I mean, Quinn Ewers, I read before this that he had some decisions that were questionable in the game beforehand. But Carson Beck, I mean, you love him and you hate him. I mean, most of the time you love him, but
Here's the thing, though. I mean, you can look at this all you want. I mean, his interceptions. I mean, they're not just like bad.
they're not overthrows. I mean, they're not like right through his hands.
Straight
A
to
lot
the
of
defense.
them.
I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat
like,
it.
oh.
I mean, it's just dodge straight down. And let's go look at that Alabama linebacker. I mean, like, he jumped up because he thought it was going over his head and it hit him dead center. That's true.
Maybe if we tell him he got traded to Texas.
Yeah, he scored some touchdowns.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, we need to take away private jets.
I think the only interception that was like an actual interception was the game sealing against Alabama. That one hurt to watch.
No, that wouldn't hurt me.
Pretty young to even make an attempt.
I had to drive 30 minutes across town. I was listening to the comeback on the radio. I open up the door, turn on TV, 3 minutes left. I watched it all.
Me and Rob were sitting on the couch and we were watching it, and there's that touchdown from Dylan Bell to put us ahead. Me and Rob were jumping up and down. We're taking pictures of TV. I end up leaning over like on the couch, and like the remote was right here on me, and I hit the back button on ESPN, and as soon as I turned back on the game, Ryan Williams caught that ball and ran it to the end zone.
Well, see, when that happened, I was like, oh, they left way too much time on the clock, you know? And then Georgia starts marching down the field. We get to the goal line with, how many seconds? It was like 50?
They left
30?
too much time on the
Wait,
board.
that was
That's why my
terrible.
hope stayed alive. because
Yeah.
they scored immediately, and we had so much time left. And then
And
we
we had
did indeed
multiple
drive.
timeouts.
Down, we drove down.
But
Yeah, we had
now-
multiple, and the 2-minute warning.
And the 2-minute warning.
But then I start to question Carson back to that, because why are you throwing a jump ball?
I mean, that really comes
With a
down
minute,
to
with a minute 30 left.
that
on
comes
the
down to
yard
Bobo.
line.
Morgan, they look pretty.
Yeah, they do look
They
pretty.
look,
They look
They
awesome.
don't look pretty when your receiver doesn't jump.
That's
in my
I
opinion.
mean, you gotta look at Colby Young there, though.
I-
I mean, the Bama player was right here.
Are we allowed to say Colby Young?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, Bama player's right here, ball's going this way, Colby Young just looks at
yeah,
it.
he's just
He
sitting there
just kinda
watching.
likes it, and I don't know, maybe a little bit of pass interference from one.
I read somewhere that every team that plays Georgia plays their cleanest game. I read
That
that.
is true. We've been
I
a
mean,
very
okay,
undisciplined
okay,
team.
now
this year.
you gotta look at this. When in a game have you ever seen more than like 4 offensive pass interference calls on a team? I mean, you go look at that.
Very rarely.
I mean, it's just terrible.
It is.
I never said my pick. Obviously, ESPN's got Georgia at like a 23% win rate. I'm not gonna listen to ESPN. I'm taking Georgia.
I mean, yeah, I picked Georgia, but
Don't say but. You pick Georgia.
I know I'm not going back on that. You know, I'm standing by that. I'm just saying it's gonna be.
Don't get me wrong. I'm worried.
I'm very worried, especially after
And
the Bama game.
Again, that's a big factor. When's the last time you went into a Georgia game and been worried? The 2019 LSU when we played them in the SEC.
Probably the last
championship?
time we played Bama because we've got like a 1-6
Every
record
time
against
we
Bama.
played Bama, I have a little bit of hope. This is the first time in a while that I just haven't had much hope. I'm gonna be honest
I
with you.
completely agree with you, but that being said, I mean, like I said, I think the keys to winning this game are going into halftime losing
Yeah.
and eliminating turnovers.
Yeah.
I think they
Yeah.
really need a very, very vulgar halftime speech from Kirby to get them
We
going.
need like a 2021 Florida win game.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started, Morgan.
Just look
That
at the
gets me
scoreboard.
fired up.
Just-
And I want to go now. I want to run to the wall. Just, oh my God. Just thinking about it. That's what we need. That's what we need them boys.
So we all pick Georgia?
You and the dogs
Give me dogs.
coming down the tracks in a
Yeah.
big machine, red and black.
That Florida Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Go Bevo, baby.
Oh, God.
See, I love that boy. If Bevo tries to kill him again, I might have to go over there to Austin, Texas myself.
That's when Sam
We're gonna
Ellinger
go
was
we're gonna go
born in
poaching.
Texas.
We're gonna go poaching that.
I'm gonna we're gonna put his Longhorns like right here, right above the.
Well, is there any other teams you wanna?
How about Army, Navy?
Oh,
I mean, it's
Navy.
last game of the year, but you know, we may not be on here at
After
that
this,
time.
there's one more thing I wanna bring up, but continue.
Who do you think in that game is gonna?
You know, quite frankly, I think both of these teams suck. They ain't played nobody.
That is true. That is
I mean,
fair.
look at the
Fair
conference
point.
they're in. I mean, they're not that great. I mean, every time I watch an Army Navy game, I usually almost fall asleep. So I'm gonna
That triple option
Yeah, I mean-
offense
About to say.
give me Navy 12-9.
Ooh,
I've
I'm gonna
got
have to agree
Wait.
with you.
field goals or touchdowns?
Field goals.
Field goals.
field goals. That's a kicker game. Ooh,
Seven,
12-9.
I love games
That's a
like
bunch
that.
of field goals.
7 field goals.
I'm gonna be. I don't know much about these two teams. They haven't played really anybody, but you ever seen Top Gun, dude? That long. I mean,
That's Air Force.
Give me Navy.
That's Air Force.
It's
I
the
mean,
Navy.
Navy, baby.
It's the
Yeah,
Navy.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, dude.
Speaking.
If you can find me something more cool than landing an F-35 on an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean,
I've got something
then
more
I will
cool.
pick Army.
I've
but
got
give
something
me
more cool
Navy
for you.
right now.
Running through it, like driving a tank through the middle of the desert, just eliminating terrorists. I mean, I've got a little bit of a bias towards. I've got family members in the Army. I've got a little bit of bias towards Army. Give me Army.
All right, what about you, Cooper?
You know, I love the triple option. You know, back in NCAA 14, the last game before college football 25, you know, it was a big game scheme.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember how many times I just sat there and ran the triple option.
I do in the
It was-
25 game. all the time.
It's beautiful. So I'm gonna take Army. I mean,
Take Army.
mhm.
What's the score?
What'd you take?
Score.
I take Navy 12-9. I'm telling you, I'm locked in.
I'm gonna go 14-10 Army.
I'm going 26-24. Army.
You're putting how much faith in their offense?
Okay, you made me question it. I'm going 18,
I
like
mean, Army's
18,
quarterback.
15.
Army's quarterback is their leading rusher.
I said all about their program right there.
But
You
he's
looking at
fast.
the
You
Gilmer
know who that
Bobcats
reminds me
out
of?
there.
I was just about to say that, Morgan. I was just about to say that. The Bobcats, and boy, do I love the Bobcats. I mean, Lord help.
The wing team.
I'm gonna watch this game.
Isaac Rellinger may have the most school spirit in this school. Certified crash out on the football field, they say.
Well, anyways, did y'all see the news that Georgia Tech and Georgia's going to be played in the Benz?
Yeah.
Really? This year?
Next
Year.
year's going to be
Yeah.
in the Benz.
Yeah.
Well,
Do we even have to question who's going to win
It honestly makes me a little upset. I don't understand why every rivalry game has to be a neutral site. Before long, the Georgia-Auburn game will be held in like.
yeah, I like the home field advantage.
I do too.
I mean-
Now, the Florida-Georgia game, I can understand that being a neutral.
Oh, it is a neutral site.
It's neutral.
It's in the Jaguars.
Do you
Yeah.
think
Yeah, I can understand
that's
that
just
being.
Florida
That's-
home stadium. I mean, like when we play in the Benz, I mean, is that really a neutral site?
do you think Alabama
You could say the same thing for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is in Atlanta.
They're 10 minutes
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Like, if we're gonna make it, put it at like Gainesville High School Stadium or something like that. I don't know.
what?
Put it in the stadium.
Oh, I saw that. They got like brand new
They
everything.
got like suites.
Yeah.
They got like,
Have you seen their head football coach?
oh my God,
He is
he's Jack. Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, I don't even know what his
You
name
think
is.
he's natty?
But he's huge.
He's huge.
You
Good
think
for
he's
him.
natty?
Chains, dude.
Yeah, good for him.
He's sick.
Good
He's,
for that guy.
I mean, he seems like a good coach.
Talk about chains. Coco chains.
Oh
my God.
Falcons play, what is it? Where do they play upcoming?
They just beat the Panthers. I don't know
Beat
who
the
they
Panthers.
played.
Pull it up real quick.
Oh, it's 4 o'clock, dude. I got it.
Hold on, we'll wrap this up after this.
It'll load here.
Let's see, it's Seahawks, I think. It's
Oh,
Seahawks.
it is
It's like
Seahawks.
It
Seahawks.
is the Seahawks.
Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, give me the Falcons. Coco Chains.
I mean, Salvador, I love you, man, but
Salvador's, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Why is he a Seahawks fan? Does he like?
He likes it.
Oh. That's understandable. Like what I was saying earlier about Alabama fans, if you like have family that went to Bama, that's understandable. But if you have never like been in the state of Alabama and you haven't like had any family go there and you're a Bama fan,
I know some people. I mean, they've been in Georgia for most of their life, and they're Tennessee fans.
Yeah.
And that's just like a crime against humanity. That's like being a Florida fan up here. I mean, you might as well just be excommunicated.
I hate Tennessee.
you hate. But do you hate Tennessee more than Bama?
You
I
do
hate
have to admit
Tennessee.
You hate Tennessee more than Bama?
See,
I can't say the
You
same.
can't
Teams that I hate
necessarily
the most.
hate a team that you lose to every single year.
Is it a rivalry if we keep losing?
Because I'm gonna be honest, like,
At that point,
I'm gonna be honest with.
I mean,
To be honest with you, Mel, if we don't win it within the next 3 times, if you can't beat them, join them, baby.
Join them. I'm gonna have to find you. If the second you put on Crimson Red, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna sniff it out and find you.
Well, I reckon we finished out the pick'em section.
Yeah.
It seems to be about the end of the podcast, baby.
It's been fun.
We got a lot of good footage.
We
Got
appreciate
insightful
having us.
opinions,
Yeah.
and we're gonna see who has the best record. I mean, I picked all upsets.
I was about to say you picked all upsets. If you end up coming like a winning record after this,
I'm putting all the poker chips.
How do you?
I will never doubt you again if you end up being right on half of those.
I'm pretty good on college football scores, but NFL season, last season playoffs, I went 1-16 on the
Ooh.
playoff game predictions.
what was that? What was the win? The one win?
It was Bucks over Eagles.
Morgan.
That's
That's
the only
bad.
game, the only game I got right.
Well,
Thanks for coming on, Chris.
yes, sir. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you,
Thanks
Mr.
for coming on, Cooper.
No
You,
problem.
Mr. Compton.
Thanks for coming on,
Have
Mel.
fun.